I'm Adams with Predictive Online Marketing, do paid advertising.
And then we have our wonderful guest down here. Her name is Jenna. Jenna, tell us a little bit about you and yourself.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Jenna, as Casey just said. Um, I have been in so I am currently working on doing e-commerce. I went to school at UNT to do under digital retailing, which is pretty much just working on e-commerce websites. So first job out of college, I did e-commerce. Decided that might have been a little bit too vague. I really wanted to specialize in something. So after my first job, I got my next job, which was an SEO. So I will always have a love for SEO. And then now I am currently a digital data analysis, again, working on an e-commerce website. So really, really fun. Love, just really wanted to get back into e-commerce land because it's growing, especially since like 2020. Everything is blowing up. Like people don't want to go into stores these days. They're wanting to order stuff online and not have as much human interaction. It's actually really interesting to see like how the whole landscape is changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And e-commerce, those kind of platforms, they own the future. Like, so what? So you love analytics, SEO, e-commerce. What do you do with analytics to help optimize? How do you influence the e-com process?
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at conversion rates. We're looking at to see like which channel is driving. So, is it organic traffic? Is it paid traffic? Is it display? And so in analytics, you're able to see like all like what's like driving people to convert on your e-commerce website. So you're really like, is your paid search strategy helping you? I mean, you'd be able to see that in analytics to see to for just to look at your conversions and your conversion rate. Is your campaigns helping? Is organic search helping? Is it is it are you optimizing in the right spots to be able to get people to click on your website? And then once they click on your website, you're able to see with event tracking, are they actually going through the process and converting? Because it's just, I mean, I could geek out on this all day because I'm all about that event tracking and trying to figure out like what's like the next step somebody can to make. Is it will something little make somebody convert, or is there something else I need to optimize? Really, really fun stuff. I love seeing how the user navigates a website. Like I could like ask one of you guys to pull up a website and I would just be interested to see how like you guys would navigate it compared to how I would navigate it and like which like buttons you push. It's very interesting to see how different people interact with websites for sure. I know I kind of went off topic.
No, this is perfect. Like exactly. I mean, like so you said little things versus like big things, like that can really unlock things. What are some like cool like, hey, this one little thing that I'm finding this behavior that it is sort of like, oh, there might be something to this, and you found it unlocked a lot.
So like even like on like just like the regular web page, like is having your phone number up at the top better than having it somewhere hidden inside the context or even at the bottom, like or like having a form like right up. Uh, I guess I'm getting to more in the UX stuff, but like is having the form like right there like in front of you better than having it below the fold? Is content above the fold better than below the fold? Is changing your title tags going to help you get people to click on to like click through to your website with like Google search? It's all, like I said, it's all just very interesting. So like I mean we've seen success with with having the phone number big and bright and like there because not everybody knows if like what they're looking for, and sometimes people just need help like on your website. So like of course having somebody be able to answer their phone is really really nice and like really reassuring. Even if they don't call, having that reassurance on your website is really nice.
All right, so all right, as a paid guy, just paid purely, can you guys either one of you, Casey, tell me about like title. So Jenna, you mentioned like click-through rate and title tags and changing. How are you measuring this? Like, what platforms are you using to do that?
So you can look at organic click-through rate in Google Search Console. So you can see, oh, love Google Search Console. So anything with numbers really I get to nerd out on. So so you can see click-through rate on keywords. You can see click-through rate on just the URLs. You can see even like average position if you wanted to. Not my super favorite metric whenever you're looking at a bunch of data, but it still can be really helpful whenever you like dig down and like look at it more granular. So I mean, if you have a really low average position on Google search, so if you're on page 2, you're probably not going to see your click-through rate very high. So even like adding up, like getting your listing to a better 1, 2, 3 spot on Google or not Google Organic, but for an organic listing on Google, getting it up, and then you can start seeing like, okay, so if I want to do, for an e-commerce example, do I want to do 20% off of women's jeans, for example? Would that drive a better conversion rate than women's jeans with just the brand name? Or is it more enticing to see, hey, I'm gonna get a deal off of this if I click on this page? There's already something going, like, and you can really test that stuff out.
It's mind-boggling thinking of like of all the possibilities of like weeding out the noise, like getting down to statistical significance. Like if I've changed the I don't know the headline on something, like it's changed from that point, right? So like for a period of time, it's going to be this. Is like, how do you weed out seasonality, like or some kind of like timing influence?
Yeah, like I completely agree. It's actually like really, really awesome to like see in analytics. Like I love looking at year-over-year data. Like it is my jam. Like I'm like I like month over month, but year-over-year can really tell, just like you said, seasonality trends. Not everybody is a Q4 performer. Some companies do better over the summer. Some companies do better after the holiday season. Kids toys, you'll start picking up, of course, around Q4 because that's when the holiday season's coming up. So it just really depends on the brand. But you're right, like seasonality is just, it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
And I know, Kevin, that you like I know, I'm sure that you've been testing out different title tags and stuff with your paid search campaigns.
Yeah, and like with headlines, so I don't. It's kind of different because I can do them in real time. It's not like so they're just testing against each other. Although with responsive search ads, it gets a little bit. There's a lot more confusion to it, so that can be a little tricky. But yeah, I mean, I've seen that certain things like. There's all kinds of behaviors that work in that Q4 in retail.
Yeah.
Like time of day, yeah, not such a big deal. Like middle of the night, yeah, people are buying gifts. No, that's perfectly fine. You do that year round. I mean, if I do the exact same thing in January that I was doing in November, I'm gonna tank. It's not so good.
No, it's also interesting. Like you really have to think about your customer. Like when are you going to have the busy seasons? If one of the things I really like about SEO is like, you have to think about things ahead of time. And I love to plan stuff. So if there's like a blog that needs to come out and needs to start ranking like in like December, I'm thinking about that blog in August or before and trying to get that content out as soon as possible, because I want to tell you about these, if I'm using the kids toys example, like I want to tell you the top 5 kids toys for this season, but I want to like kind of tell you it way before so that Google can start indexing and ranking your content, and then you can start testing things, and as things start ramping up.
Yeah, because it's weird because like seasonal businesses are the same way. So if you think about it, like a Christmas lights business is what really November and December, but do you know people start selling commercial Christmas lights in July? They're
I have
already
no
because it's a 3 month waiting period from the time you sign a contract with the commercial place, like a Chick-fil-A or Sonic, before you can actually get them put up. The whole process takes that long. So there are guys already selling Christmas lights right now. And then if you want to go further, Diwali is in October, I believe, this year. People sell Christmas lights just for Diwali, and then they take them down after Christmas. So it, it's a seasonal business, but there are so many things, and like you should already be prepping for that business already, and we're in July.
Yeah, no,
I,
you really have to start thinking. Like I remember whenever like I first started doing SEO, and someone was just like, so SEO takes about 6 months to ramp up. I'm like, that's slow, but it makes sense. Like you're not just gonna rank number 1 whenever you first launch. Like you really have to start planning things out in advance, like blogs and just like what you said, like if they're already thinking about Christmas lights, like I should have been thinking about Christmas lights probably before the summer started.
yeah,
I'd have done SEO if I had an ounce of patience. But if you think about Christmas family vacation, right? The classic, right? Like the whole thing he's getting his bonus check is he wants to put in a pool for. All right, that's when, because I mean, if you're not laying the groundwork, you're not getting it in time for the summer.
Yeah.
Right? And that's spot on. I mean, I've worked with places that are usually they're ramping up maybe towards the end of January. I haven't seen people trying for quite so early, but building your remarketing list early, and getting closer and closer to summer. At a certain point, you're not going to be able to get it done.
Yeah.
yeah.
As far as like paid ads go, Kevin, how like far in advance would you start your paid ads for something seasonal like Christmas lights? Would you start ramping up kind of like how SEO does, like way in advance, or would you just put yourself in there when it's like hot and busy season?
I haven't done a lot of Christmas lights, just a little bit, but most of the time, the place that I was working with, if it was middle of November, there wasn't much left. Their inventory was almost out. October, maybe late September, but I haven't done as much.
Yeah.
Have to ask Casey on that one.
Most of the guys I know, they start ads September 25th.
Wow.
And most of them will stop ads at the end of October, and they're booked through the end of the year, no matter how many trucks they have, whether it's 1, 2, 4, it don't matter.
Yeah.
So
I would have never thought to look that early for Christmas lights and start booking in advance, but
it's
I'm just a bah humbug.
no, it's targeting, because like most of the guys that I know are like $13 a foot, and they supply lights, they hang them, they do all that type of stuff. Well, if I can get you in to install lights in October and you save 25%, I still make good money even with my ad spend. And you get to save, and then you could turn them on whenever you want. So it's really, well, it's how you present it. Like anything in marketing, it's how you present it. So especially if I can do ads that are like, hey, we already done your neighbor's house and show their pretty house, and then you're like, well, if my neighbor's already got it done, I should probably get mine done too.
If your neighbor will let them put up a sign, that's a
Oh.
free advertisement. That's just brutal right there. Have the whole streets lined up. And my observation, like limited amount, was and even getting them done for our places. If all the colorful lights were already gone, like early. We got all just straight white, nothing colorful.
Yeah.
Because we got in late, which I
Yeah.
think was like middle of October.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the December guy because, like, realistically, it is a premium to get them done in December because everybody's out of supplies. So what you're getting, you're paying like, as a person doing the work, you're paying 3 to 4 times what you're paying in July to get the supplies.
You know what? I know a whole lot more about supplies in the last 2 years than I ever thought I'd want to know.
Yeah.
Lumber, windows, wow.
Yeah.
Everything has gone up.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
I will say this from my perspective, it's nice having somebody doing PPC and analytics because number one, as an SEO guy, your PPC guy can try different headlines faster than you and tell you what works quicker. So it's less guesswork on the headlines for the SEO guy. You can trigger that with analytics and see which ones are completing. That's the whole purpose of the PPC and analytics working together. So for me, it's nice having all three working together. I mean, do y'all see the same thing, or I'm just
Oh my God, it
a
is.
special person?
I know when the SEO is working. I'm probably going to take the credit because I'm showing up above the organic and maybe the connecting the Google Business Profile together. So get the ad and the maps. They may not even click on that one, so they might be clicking on mine. Sometimes they go into the organic. When there's a lift, oftentimes like there's a connection with the SEO. You're going to pay for it one way or the other, and then the changes right on the website. Measure twice, cut once. Making the changes, and we're all taking guesses and going, oh, I know this is why. Like, look, this is exactly why it's going on. Well, Kevin, you said this. Oh, it was it looked right, right? This is why having someone who's like laser focused in on the analytics and those wrong steps are not just opportunity costs, they're timing. I mean, I blew 3 months of going. Yeah, I'm really sure. And someone looking at the data and finding those little nuggets of golds, they could just tear down like revenue walls.
Well, that is spoken like a true PPC guy. Good ads. Taking all the credit for SEO too.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. They'll throw it my way. But I mean, Dan Sturdivant used to be president of DFW SEM. Shout out to DFW SEM, by the way. He brought in me and Jason Chanel to a class over at SMU. He was teaching, and Jason Chanel was representing SEO. I was representing paid. At the end of it, he said, "Where would you start first? Hey, if you're trying to build a business," I said, "if you don't get the basics done, if you don't get your Google Business Profile, your website, and you start getting just basic SEO stuff, you're going to pay for it one way or the other. Get your basics right." Because otherwise, people are going to be coming. They come to people like me and go, "Hey, make this work. Here's my craptastic website. I haven't done anything with it, but I want you to make me." They said you're amazing. Wait, hold on. I'm the last leg of the race. That's it. Like, I'll add the volume once you've built the base. A good base. Like, you got to have the right business owner. Like, you're gonna have the processes right. You have to have your model right. You have to have the website to where it's basic functionality and people know have at least a good idea what to do and they're taking action. And now you're starting to get rankings. How do you know that like I've seen so many designs. People are like, this is amazing, but the usability and people just weren't performing. You need an analytics person to come back in and show that performance and exactly not just that it's working, but why. And then you come in and add the volume, and that's when it's gold. And those are my best successes. I've had absolute failures when people are like, "Here, make this bad website work. You're gonna have to fix this." Yeah, just do your magic. Don't worry about that. Well, I thought you could do all this. Sorry. It's
Yeah,
just not how it works.
Yeah, because like analytics will really be able to help you point out with like event tracking or even like drop off rates. Like it'll really help you point out like this is not going well on your website. And then if you're not having like an optimized website, it's not gonna do anything. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so we got an analytics expert on here. So Jenna, what are your favorite like analytics tools? I'm gonna take a guess that Google Analytics is part of that package.
Yeah. I definitely like Google Analytics. If I was to look at like more, like if I want to do like competitive data and look at like competition, I would be using my personal favorites like SEMrush because it will tell me traffic. It will tell me competitor keywords that they're ranking for and about an estimate of what kind of traffic they're getting off of those and how well they're ranking. So definitely huge fan of SEMrush. SEMrush has a lot of features in it. Like it can crawl your website. It can tell you like some technical things that are wrong with it. You can track your keywords to see how keywords are doing on your website. If they move up to get closer to number one, or if they drop to see how well like your optimizations on your website are going. Again, keyword, it will like if you're ever just trying to figure out like keywords, and then I'm trying to think. Oh, questions. So what I love is it will tell you volume for people that are what kind of questions people are asking. So Google is, all Google is a question answerer. So you put it into whatever you want to Google, even if you're not phrasing it as a question, nail salon. I'm still trying to answer a question with Google to figure out where the nearest nail salon is, or what phone number or reviews on it. So Google's just a big question answer. So that's why I really like SEMrush, because it will tell you what people are asking, and also like what people are asking on your competitors' websites. If you're looking for more of a free tool for question answers, Answer the Public? Ask the Public? I think it's Answer the Public. But
I'll search that. What's the site? Google, you said? I'm sorry. Sorry. Ask the Public. Is that right?
it's one of those. But
Answer the Public.
Ah.
Into the public.
Wow.
So really, really cool. But yeah, if I'm not using, I am a fan of Google Analytics, Google Search Console. They're Google tools, so obviously I'm going to be a little bit more fan about this. But this website's really cool because you can type in anything here, and it will help you like ask questions or like what people are asking. So that you can try and get those questions answered on your website, because they're looking for something. So if you're a nail salon, like you probably want to have your phone number up there. You probably want to have like some sort of scheduling thing on your website, because these days people don't want to pick up that phone. People are getting a lot of anxiety about picking up the phone, and if you can get people to book online, like that's a win for you and your employees, so they can answer somebody else that wants to pick up that phone. So you can see like nail salon why does that say why tip nail salon? Always tip your nail people.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's which is which nail salon is open today, who nail salon.
Now, some of these aren't like complete sentences, but this will help you get a really good idea of how to get like with like your content.
Who dat nail salon?
Yeah.
Must be Louisiana.
Yeah, so this is like nail salon without an appointment near me. If you don't take appointments or have walk-ins available, that's a good one to rank for.
Yeah.
There are like other tools out there that's not SEMrush. Like I always say it funny. I feel like everybody else pronounces it differently. Ahrefs. That one's a really good one. Again, it has a keyword research tool. You can find out what it's it's a really good way to find out like which websites are linking to you. So it's a really good backlink finding tool. So you can find like your competitors. Say, oh, like what are my competitors? Where are my competitors? Sorry, where are my competitors getting backlinks from?
Aren't they
If it's
working on
like,
creating? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go on.
Wasn't Ahrefs? Oh, I know they were. I don't know. Creating their own search engine.
I don't know. I didn't hear about that. That's
Yeah, I
really
talked
cool.
to one of their guys at PubCon once, like a year ago, I think. Time's a little fuzzy. He was talking about getting it as one of the options, and I don't remember anything more. Sorry.
No, that's really cool. That'd be really cool for them.
So Ahrefs, huh?
Yep. And it's really cool to see like competitor data out of that because you definitely want to be able to get some of that traffic in from if you're like an ice cream shop, like your competitors might be ranking on top 5 ice cream shops in Dallas, Texas. Well, you probably, if you're in Dallas, you probably want to be on that blog listing too. So it'll be really, really, really helpful to figure it out. Well, this is probably a little bit more
Mhm.
SEO tactic, but like, I mean, if your SEO is not up to date, like your analytics isn't going to show you anything.
You use their, well, they have a plugin, right?
I haven't used their plugin. I didn't add one.
Because I had one.
Wait,
It was a browser.
they have a plugin.
Uh,
I've seen they have a Ahrefs webmaster tool. It's a free deal.
There's a Ahrefs toolbar
That's cool.
and for Chrome, and then there's a WordPress plugin, but I don't know if it's. Here's an extension for Firefox. That's also an SEO toolbar. Sidetracking.
Yeah.
No,
we're gonna.
that's like really cool though. Like
Yeah, now I have issues.
I don't mod one.
Rabbit holes.
No, I love it. Like all I want to do is talk about pressure washing and everything like that.
So, so we were having a conversation about pressure washing games, and so you said something a few moments ago about people searching on websites when you're talking about SEMrush, like some of the questions. Are they pulling, in some cases, website search data, like not just Google?
Like on page.
Yeah, are you referring to on page or just people searching and getting to different websites?
Yeah, it's people like searching on search engines and
okay.
like those. So if you want to track, if you have like a search bar on your website, which a lot of e-commerce sites do, actually a lot of websites in general do, and you want to search for something, and there's like a query string that like tells you your search, you can actually track that in Google Analytics, which is really helpful because you want to know like what people are searching for on your website because it can tell a slightly different story, and it can also kind of help you with your content. So if a lot of people are searching for kids toys on your website and nothing's popping up and you're primarily a kid toy website, something's wrong. It can really help you like figure out, again, different questions. It can help you figure out like it can help the user experience is what I'm trying to say.
So if I'm a kids toy website and people are searching kids toys repeatedly on mine, I'm clearly not making the content easy to find that I want them to find, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And are there like some kind of like cool things you've done with like the search, like on the on-site search, or just like an analysis?
Yeah, like I've come up with some different ideas to try and like create like additional content. So for like shopping malls and like Santa, like you can start seeing when shopping, like people are going to shopping mall websites and starting to search for that. So, and that can actually help like your content strategy the next year if you don't have that already. If you don't have anything about like Santa, like pictures with Santa for like again for I'm using a shopping mall for example. So and you can see like when people can start searching for that on your website, like, and you don't have anything up again, plan it for next year. Like, don't like I mean, people are probably starting to search for that sooner and like, sorry, not sooner, earlier and earlier. So you're gonna want to make sure like your content's up. So again, you can start seeing like trends like that too, which is so fascinating.
So you said one thing you like about SEO, like you planning things out, like that's you. So you like to look at the year over year to go, okay, I know this is already coming,
Yep.
so let's be ready for it.
Yeah. No.
How far back do you look? Are you just 1 year? Do you? I mean, I don't know how limited we're going to be getting, but
so with Google Analytics 4 coming out, they're going to start limiting that data. But right now, you can look back as far as like your website goes. So, or not as far as your website goes, because not everybody has analytics on their website. But if you, as far as your analytics has been on your website, what's really interesting was 2020. So, it was really hard to be able to compare year over year with 2020 because everything was changed. Like all the businesses were closed. So where you were expecting more of a peak and your business was like your local business was closed, you actually saw a decline. So it just, I guess it would just depend on the year. So if I was looking in 2021 when things probably started opening back up, I might start looking at 2019 to get a little bit better of an idea because, March 2020, we saw like, or I don't say we, but like a lot of the websites saw a decline right about there. March, April, a little bit more of a decline than like what like you were expecting. So in 2021, you might want to look back at 2019. So you might, for that example, you might look back 2 years, or like for 2020, I would compare it to 2021. If you really want to dig into it, I would do 2022. Did I say 2022? 2022, 2021, and then like 2019. Because like I said, 2020 was just
it was rough.
It was a very different year. And, there were some things, not saying 2020 was a great year or anything. Like, it was very, very sad, like, awful, awful time. But, 2020 helped, it forced websites to get better. It forced e-commerce sites to get better because now instead of going into the store, instead of going into like an electronics store to shop, you're now all shopping online. I mean, you're still buying things. You still need things. So it helps e-commerce websites get better, which is beneficial for all of us. Online shopping, love it. And then like QR codes. QR codes are on the decline. And so now people are using those QR codes. I'm also a fan of QR codes. It's simple scan on the phone, and you can start tracking people. If they scan a QR code, you can now see how many people are like scanning that and going to your website. Sometimes it's with the QR code website, or you can even UTM code those so that whenever it's putting it in the URL. Well, you don't like UTM codes?
No, I don't like the fact that I didn't think about that until you said something about that.
Yeah, UTM code. Yeah, no, we had a lot of success with direct. We had a direct mail client, and we put a QR code on those direct mail pieces, and so we could tell in analytics whenever they scan the QR code, whenever you can start attributing traditional media back in analytics and going back to your website. I mean, how cool and exciting is that? So, I mean, just that example is just like phenomenal to me. But I know not everybody knows what a UTM code is. So it is It is a URL, and I'm trying to put this in words that I can't even think of right now. So it puts like a query string on your URL, so your website and Google Analytics can track it. All it is just like a snippet of code. This is the exact same one that I use. You probably don't even notice if a website is UTM coded, because not everybody, except for us nerds, probably look at the URL. But this is a great site. A lot of social media people will UTM code their links so that they can track it back to each of their campaigns. So what's really great about this, again, is you're just able to tell. And then this is also really great link shortener. So you might recognize those Bitly links, those Owly links. Trying to think of another one, but those are the two ones that I can remember. Or you that like does the exact same thing. So this one is Bitly. So you can make the that
They just had to add that because I don't remember that being there like a couple months ago.
the link shortener.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
No, it's actually been around for a while, but
Has it?
it's super helpful, isn't it? And out of
Yeah.
this data, you can tell like let's just say you have two direct mail pieces. One goes out on July 1st and one goes out on July 15th, and they both have different QR codes. You be able to UTM code this in a certain way to be able to tell if the first one or the second one are doing better. You can even like A/B test those as well if you want to, just by like a different QR code. And if they're going to the exact same landing page, but you want to see which direct mail piece does better, like this is a great way to be able to tell like if
Well, like
those people are converting.
me, I'm that guy. So I'm sitting here thinking that if I use the QR code and use like a UTM or any of the UTMs, so we can add.
Does it stand for urchin tracking module?
Shout out! I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, we'll go with
Yeah, like I
because
said, all it does is add a query string at the end of your URL for Google, and Google picks up on that, and it will attribute it inside of Google Analytics, or just pulling the data.
Urchin was the company that they bought. Google bought many years ago. They created Google Analytics.
well, I'm just sitting here thinking that if I like made this as a QR code, so whenever somebody comes to my site, it's got the UTM term Jenna, and then I set a variable and a cookie on my site, so anytime somebody hit that QR code for Jenna, it would populate Jenna's phone number on top of the site. So if she's a sales rep and giving out her card or doing flyers or anything like that, when they go to the site, it actually sends them to her and not to any of the other sales rep or the.
Dude,
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think marketing and sales work beautifully together when they're not in competition. When sales worries about losing to marketing, that gets so there's a lot of people have more of a negative view of QR codes at a certain point, because there was a point that like QR codes are everything. They're going to be everywhere. They're going to be amazing. You saw companies that are like, we're not even going to put the information on all the ingredients on something. We'll just put QR codes on, and so many of us were like, and there's like you can see there's like it's age specific, like an overall more negative opinion of them because of just how much we were told they were going to be great, and they weren't. Problem is because you didn't have QR code readers built into your phone, and you had to take them out of your phone, like your phone out of your pocket constantly. And phones weren't as usable; they weren't as fast at the time, so there was a lot more work. I was like, okay, so you're basically obfuscating all your ingredients. This is your plan for the future. It was like it was a beating, and everyone's like, let's do something with a QR code. That was half of the marketing. We'll do a QR code. That'll be special. It was like eventually you look backwards and you're like, oh, that's because you didn't have a good idea for marketing.
Yeah. Now I don't have a left hand because my phone never leaves my left hand. It doesn't go into a pocket. It stays in my left hand. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, like and like even back before they got popular, you'd have to download like a different app to use them. And I mean that's just I mean everybody's about convenience these days. That's why again, e-commerce websites like it's so convenient. Like so you're just like nobody want to download those other apps. I mean, the QR codes were definitely dying. And then 2020 happened and then you saw a surge because I mean they were already on your phone and I mean and like I'm pretty sure like they had to do updates on some of the phones for you to be able to use it too, or you just have to download another app. But everywhere was using because you couldn't have those menus anymore, and so
every restaurant especially.
Yeah.
The real driver that made QR codes so big was actually China, because they've done a lot of there can be negative conversations about, but they've done a lot of like pushing and innovating and competition in this way. I like. And they're the ones who got iPhone to build that in natively. They wanted that to where you could scan and then pay, and now we're starting to see widespread adoption, like you said. So there's a lot of pushing in that regard. They beat the United States hands down in chat, and they have for years. We're just now starting to come along okay, because our chat has historically been tone deaf, where the answers were just like a lot of your earlier video games where like this is not, or like a lot of things where like there's an engineer that designed something, but a UX person wasn't involved, and this is where a lot of our chat has been. It's like it's not. So we're just now starting to catch up on that. I do expect chat to be huge, but it's I think it's finally starting to see positive results, but just I don't know, last 5 years before now has been wretched half the time. I'm like, please just go away. I don't know, that's my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on chat.
Like
chatbots.
Chatbots.
Sorry, chatbot. I should be clear. Like
I thought you mean like Teams. I'm like, I kind of like Teams and Slack.
Oh yeah, those have been exploding. Like they have had explosive growth, and yeah. Oh no, private messages. These are terrible. God,
I don't like talking to people.
There's real humans out there on the web. We need to avoid them.
Oh man.
Yeah, I should be clear. I kind of got into chatbots for a little while, and it's its own discipline entirely. It is not just something you walk into lightly.
Yeah.
I remember whenever like AOL AIM was popular.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was the first instant messenger, but in my eyes it was the first. And I always like would talk to like a bot because they were so sassy. So mad at them. What was it like? I think one was called like Smart Child or something, but I just would message them and I would get so salty at them.
Oh yeah, I do vaguely remember some moments of going, oh, let's chat and let's see. And I remember AIM at work when I was doing tech support. They were I had to watch out because they're sitting on calls and you're sitting here messaging like everyone's like doing this until eventually management's like, guys, yeah.
Are there any other tools you like?
For like analytics and stuff.
Yeah.
I know I don't have any experience with Adobe Analytics, but I know that one's a really popular one. But so I don't really want to speak upon that because I don't have a lot of experience, but I know some of the bigger websites use it, but I know there's slightly bigger price tag on it. I mean, comparatively to Google Analytics, which is free,
Yeah.
Adobe's definitely a little bit more. But I know, like I said, I know a lot of people who like it.
So you're a whiz at Google Tag Manager.
Yeah, I do love Google Tag Manager. So it can help it can definitely help your like website speed. So instead of having I guess a good way to explain Google Tag Manager is I'm going to use one of my former bosses' examples because it was great. So it's Google Tag Manager is like having a wallet for your website. So before you just had like a purse, and your website would be your purse, right? So before you would just put before wallets, you would just put all your credit cards inside your purse, and like whenever you needed like your like Chase Freedom card, you have to dig through your purse and find the right credit card. You have all these bunch of gift cards. You're like digging through your purse, just like these tags were just placed on the website, and you're just digging through the website trying to find a certain tag. So now what Google Tag Manager does, they have come up with a wallet. So instead of now you can have a wallet, you can put all your tags or credit cards inside of the wallet, and you'd be able to find them really easily. So what's really, and then like what another great thing is like you can do is so then you just put that, instead of having a bunch of different tags, you just have one tag and put it on your website, and they'll all be able to deploy. Of course, if they're set up correctly, but so it's really really helpful to be able to organize and manage. You actually don't need a developer with it. Sometimes you will, but there's always really great resources out on the internet. One of my favorites is his name is Simo Ahava. So he's very very knowledgeable about Google Tag Manager. So I read a lot of his blogs whenever I need Google Tag Manager help or just for fun. And so what's one of the other great things about Google Tag Manager is you can deploy event tracking on there. So before on the website, you wouldn't be able to tell if somebody clicked on one of your social links on the website. So if you have, like most companies do, if you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at the bottom, you wouldn't really know if somebody's actually clicking on there and going to social media. So what's really cool is you can event track that. So you can set up, if somebody clicks on one of those, you're able to tell if somebody clicked on one of those and left your website to go to Facebook or social media.
So outbound link tracking. There you go.
Like outbound. I mean, you can do like outbound links. You can do like internal links. So if you have like a click here button, don't recommend doing click here, but if you know what I mean with the click here button, if you click on it, normally you might not be able to tell if somebody clicks on that button or not. And so with event tracking, you're able to tell if somebody might be able to click on one of those buttons to go to your next page. So a really cool thing to be able to tell is, okay, so I have the button down here, but what if I move the button up here? Is that going to increase clicks? And you'd be able to tell that with event tracking, because now you're able to tell if people are actually clicking on it or not. Like, is this helping my website? It's
Not
really,
just that they got to the next page, but how did they get to that next page? What did they click to do so? Right
yeah.
on.
Yeah, and you're definitely able to like track those kind of things, which is really fun.
Wait, I got one. So Google Tag Manager, biggest problem that I've run into, well, aside from not being as skilled as you, is like the SEO pushback I've had, because I work with SEOs. I don't do SEO, and so and then I will get this. Well, Tag Manager will slow things down, and so I don't like to use that. It's bad SEO, and it stops me. And I go look up stuff. It's like, well, we can move stuff. We can.
Yeah, that's a person that doesn't know how to make their site fast to begin with. I'll just go with that.
So it's really funny whenever you run those kind of like reports. I think Lighthouse is one of them. it'll pop up Google Tag Manager, but it'll also pop Google Analytics. Like Lighthouse is a Google product. What do you want me to do? Not have analytics on my website? You want me to get rid of analytics so that I won't be able to tell like what's going on my website? Google, this is your own product.
Right.
Like you should be able to understand. Like I'm not going to remove this. That would be detrimental.
If we just got rid of all the tracking, all the problems would be solved.
Who cares about analytics, right? Like goodbye. But
are there ways that you could speed up Tag Manager, or are there things that you can do that'll slow things down with Tag Manager?
So, of course, the more pixels and things that you have inside of Tag Manager, it could slow down your website. So let's just say I have 10 analytics in Tag Manager. That could slow everything down. So you also want to be like, you also just don't want to track things. So just keeping your Tag Manager clean, working with your development team, if Tag Manager is slowing a lot of stuff down, like, is there anything that we can, I wouldn't say move to the website, but we see that, but is there anything else besides Tag Manager that's slowing down the website? How big are your images? Like, images can really slow down your website. So, I know it's kind of just like a give and take with Tag Manager and analytics, but those are both really, like, in my opinion, analytics super important. Tag Manager, I'm a fan of it. Like I say, it can just help track, but just keep it clean, because if you have 10 tags in there and you only use 5, you can get rid of the other 5 kind of thing, and hopefully that'll help start speeding things up, but maybe not much.
Casey, what are your best tools for like slimming down? I know you run into this, the images on websites, the stuff on there. Like, what are your like? This is your fastest way to get a website quicker, like right out of the gate, without like having to rebuild it.
So there is a plugin called WP Optimize, and that will optimize the images pretty good if you actually take the time. I think Adobe will let you go to their website and convert your images to that WebP format, which is supposed to make them smaller and faster for websites.
Does Google read those images just the same?
Yeah. So the bonus is it makes them smaller and faster. Most of the time, if you'll just move to a good hosting company and install caching or CDN like Cloudflare, you'll outspeed most people. So, and like I have a 5 megabyte site that loads in 0.6 seconds. So when you're talking to me about Google tags and it loading slow because of Google tags, I'm like, y'all are doing something wrong. Something overall is wrong if you're worried about your Google tags taking too long to load.
So what are the biggest conversion killers? Like, either one of you? Like,
not making it. We'll go with KISS. Keep it simple. Most people don't keep it simple for conversions. And like she was saying earlier, phone number at the top. You would think that would be the first and foremost thing, but most people just shove it in the footer and let it be there. And you're like, it's not that bad on a PC. You convert it to a phone, and now you're swiping, trying to get to the bottom to find a phone number. Well, why are you going to do that to somebody? Shove it at the top where it's just one click and you're done. So
kills me. A small phone number, or like put it on the contact page. If people really want to call, they can do it.
Trying to zoom in on your phone. Oh yeah, or on the contact page only. Why are you gonna do that to people?
That's such a beating.
like I'm thinking now, it's like, I probably put my foot in my mouth a little bit too much. So I just want to go back and just retouch on this really quick. 20, I kind of was just like, well, if you're looking at 2021 versus like, you wouldn't want to look at 2022. You don't want to dismiss 2022 either. So I just want to go back and call that out. I'm over here thinking like, I still look at 2022 stuff. It just depends.
2020.
I'm over here like thinking, I'm like, why am I bringing this back up? Because I want to make sure like people don't dismiss 2022 either though.
That's what I want in an analytics person who overthinks it. You don't have to. You just looking through the data and like, wait a minute. I've seen like tests, the Google optimized tests where right out of the gate looked like clear winner was one, and then if we waited and waited and waited, and that starts changing, and two starts blowing it away. But like the first one, like, oh come on, we should call this test. Come on, we've got like. What's the point of continuing? We already see it. Yeah, so yeah, overthink that stuff, please. Test the hell out of it.
I mean, I will, yeah, I definitely will just sit there and nerd out on data and sometimes just overthink it. But sometimes the thing is, like, the last thing I want to do is give somebody like incorrect data. Like, I want to be able to give them like a fair shot at like what I'm looking at. Like, hey, like, I might see this decrease, but maybe we pull out some benefits of that, or maybe we just talk about all the negative things. Like if like sometimes when you're looking at year-over-year data, like which landing pages you might see, oh, like this landing page really decreased by, let's just say 15% year-over-year. Well, you might also want to call out the ones who also increase. Is your decrease caused by an increase somewhere else on the website?
Yeah. So that brings me up to a question. You were talking about tags and tagging the click here, we'll go click here button. So like on sales pages, some sales pages are long form and have like 3 or 4 click here buttons. Do you tag them differently so you know which one they clicked?
Personally, I would like to see which. I mean, okay. Let me take that back. Do all of those click here buttons go to the same page on the next page? So if they do, I might absolutely track those differently, because what if one of them just not performing, and you could probably just remove it if you want, or you can start testing that out, like to see which one's clicking the best, or if you remove one, does one of them perform better? Does it improve click-through rate to the next page? If they're going to different pages, I would set up my label different so I can see which page it was clicked on and which page it is going to. So like if it's going from the home page to a contact us page versus a how-to page, like I wouldn't need to do those separate. I wouldn't need to set up like a tag for each one of those.
Yeah.
I could just put it inside of the label, because each tag for Universal Analytics has a category action and label, and you're able to pull in things like URL, or if you don't want to do URL, you can do page path. You can pull in, you can pull in if each of those click here buttons has a different and one of them like different wording on it. So if one of them says click here, one of them says upgrade now, one of them says, I don't know, upgrade later. You could pull in if one of those has something different. So you're a lot.
So one tag firing back different information based on what the person clicked. So saving on the tag space, still getting the info.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a preferred session recording tool?
You're talking about just like Google Analytics?
Just recording the session. Like, do you have a tool? I'd like to see as the person like scrolls, and do you have a tool you use for that?
You can actually put in scroll path into Google Tag Manager and see and it'll fire an event if somebody scrolls 25% of the way down, 50% of the way down, or 100% of the way down, you have to set those up kind of carefully because it can mess up your bounce rate and give you an inaccurate bounce rate. So if you're on a web page and let's just say you're counting 25%, it might trigger an event which could tell your page that you have a 0% bounce rate, which would be inaccurate. So sometimes you gotta be careful with those things, and how you set them up. Is that what you're asking?
That wasn't, but that was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not what he was asking, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, that might be useful. Hey, look what we've done. We've got your bounce rate way down.
You scroll 1% down.
Man, it's amazing.
Sorry, I guess I'm not understanding what you're asking, but
That's it. Well, there's some tools that will record the person, like, so it'll, as the person like is moving down the screen, watches where their mouse is going, where they're clicking on the screen.
I haven't actually looked at any of those. I'm trying to think of one that I know of, but I can't think of one on the top of my head. I think like Hotjar might be one of them. So
I think I've heard of that one too.
Yeah, that one. Clarity's doing that now. Microsoft Clarity. Yeah, you should check theirs out.
Really?
That's really cool.
Yeah. A lot of people that are. Do I?
I was gonna say like those are really important. You can get a lot of data out of those. We just don't have that currently set up.
Yeah. You get heat maps. You get this. There's all kinds of stuff. You can connect it to your Google Analytics. And then you could tell all kinds of parameters you want to exclude, private information, like, hey, I don't want these fields to go over there. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Wow.
I'm not like super, and I need to get more into it and learn more on it, but yeah, it's free.
I need to.
Sorry, I said free. I messed that up, right?
Yeah, you got me all excited with the word free. So let's say hypothetically, there is a conference site out there that has a register button that pops up an Eventbrite page. But so I could use analytics with the tag manager to track when they click the button, even though it's just opening up a pop-up.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would trigger an event, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then what's really cool is, and then if they fill out the form, you'd probably be able to tell, like, you'd be able to, like, you could start getting percentages, like, okay, so 10 people clicked on the button, but only 5 people actually signed up on, like, let's just say a certain day. So, like, today. So 10 people clicked the button, only 5 signed up. So, like, only 50% of the people are actually signing up. And then that's when you can start thinking about, like, conversions and trying to, like, I mean, obviously you always want to think about conversions, but like trying to optimize your, like, where are people dropping off and why?
Yeah.
Is the form too lengthy? Do you have too many, like, things to fill in, or is it, you can start trying to, like, diagnose people don't want to give out their phone number, like, maybe that's a reason why. And if you take out the phone number field and you get, instead of 5 people, you actually get 9 people, I mean, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Testing is so important.
I've heard that.
Yeah, now I got work to do. So, I have hypothetical work to do.
So, yeah, we're going to have some amazing speakers coming for the conference we're putting on, State of Search, to help fill in a couple of these, a few of these answers on some of this.
Well, there goes my hypothetical.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're good. State of Search. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to be all back in person.
Yeah. I'm excited about an in-person conference.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Yeah.
To be in person.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We have virtual options for because we've got old members, founders that have gone to Colorado. Our president just moved to Houston. And a little send off get together, and she'll be she's not going anywhere for our group. So
Yep.
yeah, this is America right now. We're all like half in, half out, but we're all together still.
So, one final question before we take off. What is your favorite podcast or YouTube channel or TikToker to watch
Like
to learn more?
to like learn more about this.
Yeah.
So for YouTube, there's this guy. Well, Simo has one, and I will never talk bad about Simo Lahava. He's awesome. So he also has a YouTube channel. But one of the other YouTube channels that I really like is Loves Data. So I think he's British or something. So and he talks a little bit slower, so it makes it a little bit easier to understand and follow. I've learned a lot off of him. I actually really enjoy watching him. So I would recommend him. Of course, Simo Lahava blogs. He has a YouTube channel as well. I don't listen to too many podcasts for which y'all might hate me for. So I don't listen to too many marketing podcasts. I try to keep podcasts.
So disappointed.
D&D. You gotta listen to D&D podcasts. You want to? I want to watch I want to listen to D&D podcasts. So I'm going to tell you that.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. So
All right.
you can already see how nerdy
I learned
I am.
something new. Yeah, that was way nerdy.
Is it a genre or is it an actual podcast?
It's just a genre. It's just a lot of fun to listen to. So I don't listen to marketing podcasts. I get the point of them. It's just
It's hard. I
like listen to D&D stuff.
Yeah.
Lawful evil, chaotic good.
Yep.
Which one?
You want to know which podcast I listen to for that kind of stuff?
No, just like, are you like, I don't know if it.
So, I've only played D&D a handful of times, so I've always been like the boring, chaotic, neutral ones because everyone's like, "Oh, you should be something fun." But I love like being like wizards and stuff. Like I love like the spell casting stuff. So really, really fun. Just being able to de-stress and nerd out.
Yeah.
Analytics.
Heck yeah.
D&D. I mean, I can compare them.
Yeah, I love throwing my mind into something that's never actually affecting me physically. Like this is why I was like into football for so long. It's like, my grandmother got me into Cowboys, whatever. It's a long story. She was a diehard Cowboy fan, but my wife was like, you just don't seem like the other people. It's like, you just don't seem like a football kind of guy. I'm like, it's something that doesn't matter. I can feel all emotional, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether they win or lose. Like my work, it matters if I keep my job.
Yeah.
It matters if a client continues to pay or if my results are coming through. If the Cowboys like fumble on 4th down in the Super Bowl, at the end of the next day I wake up, I'm a little sadder, but that's it.
Yep.
Everybody's sad the day after Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's all over.
Typically, they should make that a national holiday, the day after Super Bowl.
Oh, it's a commercial holiday for us marketers. I mean, line up and watch them. If you get a chance, play Dark Sun, by the way.
Dark Sun?
It's a world in D&D.
Okay.
It's
right.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to go total nerd here.
Yeah. I'm like, we need to have a discussion after the discussion.
Their magic users are special. It's not so simple, and the world is out to get you. I believe if I remember correctly, you start at level 5 to begin with, because otherwise you may not survive. Period.
Okay.
It's been a while, 20 something years.
All right, I think we call it there. We're
You don't
starting to
think
get
we're
way
gonna do
beyond the.
power washing?
No,
Sorry,
we're
what
not
was that?
talking power washing.
He doesn't want to talk about power washing.
No, I will say this. I have been looking at Xboxes today,
Good.
so it may be happening in the next couple days.
So I will go
So-
ahead and promote this. There is a power washing game on Steam and on Xbox right now. All you're doing is just, well, I guess it's power washing or pressure washing, depending on where you live. Learned that yesterday. Shout out to you, Casey. But all you're doing is just power washing and pressure washing things like cars. I did a train the other day. Really fun game. Really
Yeah,
relaxing.
I may have watched a guy stream, and he was cleaning a subway. Yeah, that happened today.
Wait. Okay, so you guys need to play on a side-by-side game. I mean, did they have competitive pressure washing in this, like co-op or something?
They do have co-op. It's not competitive. Like we get all right here,
Okay.
all be on the team together and pressure or
Wait,
power wash, depending on what you do.
Do I hear a channel?
I hear a channel. I hear a channel.
You
I
guys
hear a
just
channel.
heard it here first. We're gonna get Casey started Twitch for us.
The two of you are going to be like co-op pressure washing, and you got weekly sessions.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin, you're not getting out of this. So you can have like
Yeah.
4 to 6 people.
He said the two of y'all.
Wait, 4 to 6? Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can attack this.
I think we can have up to 6.
No, oh my God, this is happening.
I'm telling you, you heard it here first.
This is
Number
the future of marketing, or of our whatever.
All right.
Yeah, that's
In this, and if y'all could stick around just for a second. All right. I want to thank everybody for hanging out and listening to us ramble and talk about nerd stuff. I mean, analytics.
Thank you so much, Jenna.
Marketing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
no, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on here. It's been fun.